This is my breakdown of top of the pops. I'm going to do the Human League, Don't You Want Me? So the first shot we see is a pull out on a dolly of members of the band performing. This kind of sets the tempo with the clapping and the audience in the background, as well as you see the band dancing as well, to kind of set the pace of the set. The lights that they use kind of give this kind of strobe effect. So all the lights are kind of pulsating. This is to link with the clapping. So you see all these strip lights that are pulsing up and down here to mix with the greens and the red that correspond with the Christmas theme of the whole show. This shot here you see as a kind of a looking down as his perspective into the crowd. This kind of gives him kind of this higher status in the show. So you see all the lines are pointing to him, the lines of focus all drawing to him. This kind of gives him this higher status. We know who is the lead singer of the band. We know who you want to focus on from the second that the show starts. As well as that, placing the camera in the middle of the crowd, this kind of gives the audience at home this kind of immersed feeling, so you actually feel like you're actually in the crowd. Kind of like how the shots used, you see all these people that are looking up at him, kind of drawing their attention to him, kind of giving him this higher status as he's kind of making him look bigger. Here we see a close-up of him and his costume. His costume uses a lot of bright makeup and a lot of kind of, at the time, this was kind of a big taboo for anyone to do, really, especially singing a song like Don't You Want Me. So kind of giving this more feminine feel. This kind of caused more of a controversy on stage, and kind of you're asking questions, who is it you're invested, you're interested in what's going on stage already. This shot here is on a crane, so what the crane does, it moves from that first shot they saw over into the audience, it moves up into him on stage. This immerses the audience at home even more, to kind of make them feel that they're there even more. Getting right up into his face, he's looking at the camera. It's like a really cool shot, him looking to the camera, speaking, kind of getting the audience at home involved and invested into the show. Everyone on stage, what I like about what they're doing is they're all like dancing, they're all doing something, no one's standing there all stiff. What's kind of nice about this is if you focus on different parts of the stage, you can watch this 10 times and kind of get a different experience each time. It's because everyone's doing a different thing. She's dancing, he's bobbing his head when he's playing the piano, he's strumming away and he's getting into it, bobbing as well. Kind of all of them are kind of not standing still. It kind of gives this kind of atmosphere, this kind of fun vibe for the whole show. Kind of something I want the talent in Later with Miskin to do, to kind of make them have this kind of fun vibe, because what they do, they enjoy what they're doing, and they're showing that as well in their performance. It's a really cool shot here. So the camera introduces her with kind of a pull out, so we know that she's one of the backup singers into this, but instead of her cutting harshly, it kind of gives a slow, subtle pull out to kind of reveal who she is, and putting her next to him as well, it associates her with the song more. It's kind of, and also it gives the camera looking up, so we also focus on her more, because it kind of gives this higher status as well. So instantly we'll focus on her as well as one of the singers. As well as that, the makeup have used the bright red lipstick for both of them to kind of associate them with the band as well. This is to kind of make the audience kind of know, again, subconsciously, she's involved with him and she's involved with him and vice versa, so we know who's doing what in the band. So these two people are the focus point due to the bright red lipstick. They're both using the same mic, they're both standing next to each other, and they're both in the same shot here. Here again, the camera uses the same technique to kind of put the crane pulling out of what's going on. Here again, you see the bright red lipstick of her again, associating her with the other two, as well as she's separated from them to show the different storyline of what's going on in the song to correspond with the lyrics, as well as that she's looking into the camera, speaking to the camera as well. So that's really nice, kind of immerses the audience even more, invests them into what's going on. And as well as that, it's using again that kind of looking up. The camera's not at eye level, the camera's looking up at her to kind of give you that immersion as well, so we know to focus on her as well. This is a really cool camera technique you use. So the camera's on a crane, and that pulls out from her all the way, so we see what's actually going on stage. So now this is the first time we actually see all of them. We know who they all are with the three people playing instruments in the background, the two pianists and the guitarist, with the three singers in the foreground. This kind of all makes the band, seeing that they're all together, kind of gives a really nice shot. This corresponds with the Christmas theme in the background. You've got nice green, silver, reds in the background, especially with the half whites as well. Here again, we see him look into the camera again when he's singing the chorus. This is a really cool technique that's being used. The lines "Don't you want me" is kind of addressing the audience as well. So this is, you look directly into the camera, it immerses the audience, and it kind of gives this really beautiful shot of kind of the background out of focus and him in focus, kind of looking directly into the camera, so the audience is well invested. That's kind of one something to do with Later with Michigan. When I have a camera on stage as well as the track near the stage as well, I want the talent to get right up close to the cameras, make sure they're actually investing in what's going on, to actually look into the cameras, which is something that's going to be hard because it will remind them that they're there. But I want to kind of get over that and kind of to kind of get comfortable using the cameras like that. What's nice as well is these two aren't doing anything here, but they're still performing. You're still invested in what's going on in the performance. They haven't stopped singing, standing still and hiding behind what's going on, hiding behind the microphone. They're still dancing, they're still moving about, so you still give the atmosphere on stage, kind of gives this fun vibe, which is throughout the whole performance.
So from this video, what are you going to take from it to use in your own project?
What I want to take is kind of the energy and the feel of the whole thing. So throughout this, you get kind of you get the kind of rhythm and kind of a theme of fun. So that's in the lyrics that are being the performance that's going on. They're not standing still; they're dancing. You kind of get involved. The lights, they're really bright, fun colours with the nice greens, the nice reds, the kind of nice whites that are pulsing around. The costume that's being used, it's not really too like intimidating. It's kind of the kind of nice costumes, the nice bright whites and all that. Apart from him with the black, you've got the nice lipstick as well. So you kind of get this kind of fun vibe from the whole thing. That's something I want to use in the Later with Michigan show.
What camera angles from looking at this would you use from this, or would you not use any at all? Is there anything from this in terms of how you plan to direct this that you wouldn't use from this, or that you would want to embed in the show?
One angle that I really like is kind of the close-up looking into the camera. So it keeps switching between the kind of the close-ups of the singers as they look into the camera. I think that's something that's really effective and nice. What I wouldn't use is the kind of long pull-out. I don't really think that's kind of a necessary shot. I think it goes on too long.
So the long pull-out. Why do you think it goes on too long?
It goes on too long because of the verse. So it kind of goes on too long because of the verse. But when it pulls out to the whole band, we kind of get bored of it by the time. We've seen the band multiple times for the whole thing, but it kind of still pulls out. It's kind of unnecessary shot. I would switch back to the shot on the ground. here on this, they keep the normal just close up of the two singers. Here I put a crossfade between the other singers, between the other women singing as well. This kind of gets them all involved so we know who the three main singers are. So I would put a crossfade here, but they haven't done that.
Does obviously this particular video that you're breaking down is essentially a pop performance.
Yeah.
What are the genres of the different bands that are going to be performing on the night?
On the night the genres are we have some pop bands so singing Mamma Mia, heavy metal in Sargasm, some hip hop and rap in OG Kush, some rock in Sockets, but we do have some pop that's in Sweet Platinum Twist when they sing Mamma Mia and We Are Family.
So will you be applying this approach to all of the bands or just those that fall into this genre?
Some of the energy and the kind of like enthusiasm is kind of something that I get into. Kind of something that I want to get into the whole band. So my kind of main feel later of Miskin is that when they see the camera, they're going to kind of shy away and be sad. If you watch these performances, these guys couldn't care if there's a camera there or not. That's kind of something that I want to get them used to and kind of use the camera to their advantage. As we see him when he was looking into the camera, that was a really beautiful shot when he was like looking and addressing the camera. That's kind of one thing I want the guys to do. I want them to look directly into the camera and like perform to it because that will give a really powerful shot. Especially a lot of these guys, Sockets and Sargasm, they're performing songs that they've already sung. They've written themselves, so they do have some meaning behind them. So if they look into the camera, it's going to give a more powerful message.
Cool.
Here we see when the string comes in, she messes up her lip sync. We're not going to have lip sync, it's going to perform live. So this is something we're not going to worry about, and as well as that, we're not going to have anything like this coming on stage. It is a nice effect, kind of give the fun and tempo again, but it's, again, it's something that we're not going to have. So that is my breakdown of Top of the Pops.
Well done.
Don't go anywhere, we've got to do one more.
1 second.